Hey guys, Scott here. Unscheduled video because I just saw something ridiculous on Twitter, and it is a very near and dear concept because of people's reactions to this in Dead by Daylight. So I felt like it was applicable to talk about because it's frankly infuriating. We're going to talk about teabagging, and there was an example of an Apex player who was permanently disqualified from a tournament because they teabagged their teammate.
Like I'm telling you, you're going to tell me teabagging my own teammate is toxic. All right, so then this is where we're going to shut the lobby down at this point because I'm not going to get into that one because absolutely it is.
Okay. To me, this makes absolutely no fucking sense in any form of opinion. I don't even think that's an opinion. I think he's just actually incorrect. Obviously, you can set whatever rules you want for a tournament if it's your tournament, but he's just actually wrong. Toxicity involves trying to make someone else upset, and that is typically your main goal. You're trying to impart a negative feeling to somebody else. That's typically what gaming toxicity is seen as. If you are teabagging your friend, and it's very clear that they were, there is no negative repercussions to that. There's no negative ramifications. Thus, it cannot be toxic by definition. So him saying that it, of course, is toxic, as his opinion is wrong. That's like saying, like, this is a truck. That's just not how the word works. You have to have some type of negative ramifications for it. Like someone has to be negatively affected for something to be toxic, or it's just simply not toxic because you're not hurting anybody. And so if you go in and teabag your teammate, even if it's in a tournament, nothing negative is happening from it. It's just, you're just basically messing with your teammate. And I don't know how many times in Dead by Daylight, for example, I get to a generator, I do like a little teabag, and I see a teammate, they do a little teabag too. It's like a little hello. It's a high five. That's typically what it is in that type of scenario. Now, I could see if he, just killed, the opposition and then just, started dropping them balls in, an enemy's mouth. That would be a bit different, and that, is frankly pretty bad sportsmanship, and that's fine. I would definitely agree a lot more with him. I still think it's not a big deal. I think it's just funny at this point, but I would at least understand from a professional sportsmanship standpoint of why you would not want to see that in a tournament. But it was his friend. It wasn't even his friend's body or anything like that. It was the loot box that they left behind. It was an inanimate, friendly object that they teabagged for like half a second.
You cannot go and teabag your own teammates in any organized sports.
Yeah, you can.
Do not teabag teammates in the future. Just because you can hide behind this and get to use this little thing.
Okay, again, this makes no sense. He's implying that something bad has happened, and that is why you would need to hide. Now, that is very true on the internet, that people hide behind anonymity to basically just be dicks. And that is a very, very common thing on the internet. As if you've been on the internet, I'm sure you can agree with that. But the thing is, he's not being a dick. There's nothing to hide behind because he didn't do anything. He just was saying hello to his teammate, and that's it. And there's proof of this. So I don't understand why he even considers that something that you need to hide behind. It doesn't make any sense.
You're not going to do that in the real world, so don't.
Okay, and then people always do this stupid real world comparison as if the things taking place in the game are happening in the real world. You know why people don't teabag in real life? The only reason? Because it's physically very hard to teabag. Have you ever tried to crouch up and down that fast? It's really hard. You have to like deadlift for that shit. And that's pretty much the only reason that people don't do it. Now, obviously, it would look ridiculous, and I'm joking here. But the reason that people don't do it is because it's just a ridiculous thing. Why are you making a real life comparison? You're playing Apex, a game where you murder each other. You have guns and you shoot each other in the face. So murder is okay, but you cannot crouch for half a second on the inanimate box left by a friend who thinks it's funny. Like, what? People need to seriously, lighten up about this shit. And again, I'm not saying that you should do it. I don't advocate that you do it. I don't do it. I haven't done it for ever, really. I guess when I played Call of Duty, 15 years ago, maybe, or something like that, I did it. But I'm not advocating for it. I'm just saying, stop being so affected by it. I don't understand where this whole generation of people that get so triggered by animations in video games, where did they come from? Like, I understand real toxicity, if there's a post-game chat or something like that, and they're telling you to kill yourself or something like that, that's pretty bad shit. We need to not have any of that. But when people press the crouch button in an it's an animation in a game. I know there's that one famous tweet, how are you going to get bullied on the internet? Just turn the screen off. And, well, that one's a bit, unfair because being bullied on the internet is more of a long, drawn out process. You can't just turn your screen off. It's there every time you turn it back on. But in this scenario, it's like the people that keep post-game chat open in Dead by Daylight, and then they get triggered by the people that shit talk them in the post-game chat. There's a button. You can just make it go away. It won't exist anymore. If you're willingly subjecting yourself to it at that point. Frankly, if you get triggered by post-game chat, you have no one to blame but yourself. It's not even the other people shit talking you fault. It's you are inviting it. There's some part of you secretly that wants to see it for whatever reason because you're choosing to just keep that chat on. And I think that's like the same level of like, I don't know, just people just don't have spines anymore. I feel like I'm such a boomer talk right now, but it's just an animation in a video game. And again, I'm not saying you should do it. I don't do it. I advocate that people don't do it. In fact, when I see my teammates teabagging in Dead by Daylight and then they get killed by the killer, I laugh my ass off. I'm like, get fucked. Because it's karma. It's hilarious. But there's nothing toxic happening. It's just funny as shit. And I don't understand why like this is happening in even tournaments too. Sorry. This whole scenario that I just researched was just, it just made me upset for the future of the human race.